across the world. And I am honored to introduce him to you. I would like Mr. Richard Clare to come to the podium and receive his award.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is wonderful to be here. I've been present at these CEEQA Gala Award evenings several times in the past. I'm sure that we all go to a lot of award ceremonies, but this particular one is very special. What makes it so special? Quite simply, it's the quality of business people that it consistently attracts, together with the outstanding projects and developments that continue to take place in this region. There is a lot of competitive interest in these awards from all the people that actually matter. And that is why I have been particularly surprised and deeply honoured to have been invited to accept this award, which recognises my lifetime's achievement. And shocked too, because lifetime implies the arrival of twilight years in someone's career, and I really thought I hadn't quite got there yet. My first thoughts of doing business in this region came in 1990. At EC Harris, we'd been looking to expand into Europe for some time. The obvious mature markets of Western Europe did not seem easy to crack. As a private business, we had a shortage of capital, as all private businesses do. We had to decide where to place that to expand. It was all our own money, plus a bit of the bank. And in Western Europe, there was very heavyweight competition from the locals. For example, who in France would engage what was then a British firm to look after their interests in those days? Political changes of the late 80s gave me a fantastic opportunity to get into the new business Europe. Many of our established clients had decided to invest in Eastern Europe and were asking us to go in with them, as they trusted us to look after their interests, and they were worried about the investment risk of using untried locals for their developments. So the notion of setting up in Central and Eastern Europe became entirely compelling to me. So we swallowed hard and opened our first European office outside of the UK in Budapest, of all places, in 1992. Looking back on it, it was extraordinary. I sent out a 32-year-old bloke to head up the office. He was an aspiring partner. He was a typical London yuppie. Blue pinstripe suit, red braces, and a matching red BMW 325i convertible. A right loser, you would have thought. It could have been a disaster. I remember visiting him some 6 months after he'd set up our office, and he picked me up at the airport in that ridiculously ostentatious BMW of his. I said, "How many projects have you actually won?" in what I thought was my usual aggressive way. To which he replied, "Wrong question, boss. It's more a question of how many projects haven't I won?" The answer to which is none. Little sod. Our work at that time was almost entirely in the real estate sector, and pretty soon we realized that our clients needed us to be with them in the other key cities of Warsaw, which we opened in '96, Prague and Berlin. We built each of these up to what for us was a critical mass of around 50 people each. This gave me enormous confidence to open our other regional offices in Serbia, Slovak Republic, Romania and Moscow, plus others. Now, I have 4 key facts here that differentiated my thinking about this region. The first of these was the quality of our staff, which was absolutely fantastic. I found that not only could most of them speak excellent English, they were also educated extremely well, or better than a lot of our British staff. I reckon at one time we had more MBAs per square metre in Warsaw than in any other office. Second point, or fact, was the tremendous trust given to us by our clients. Both inward investors in the early days and then increasingly regional clients helped us. Many of you are here tonight, and I would like to give you all my personal thank you for entrusting me and EC Harris with many of your biggest and most important projects. It was you who gave us the real opportunities. Thank you very much. Now, the third fact was the push that we made to persuade our clients of the need to specify international investment standards. This was incredibly difficult at the time, as the mood was usually wrapped around the urgency to use real estate to get rich quick, in the flawed belief that values would just keep on increasing. And the fourth, and absolutely not least, was the importance of operating regionally as a single entity. And this is what our clients really wanted. As part of this, I saw it as vital to reduce the number of expatriate staff dramatically, and this led us naturally to think in terms of leadership being given to country nationals. I am now extremely proud to see how each of EC Harris's CEE offices has achieved a top 3 position entirely under local leadership, and in the main with local staff rather than expatriates. What helped this was our decision to invite our country leaders to become equity partners of the whole partnership. This plugged the right people into the central organisation in London and enabled a uniform world-class service offering to be understood and rolled out consistently across this region. Importantly, it also enabled our key people to receive an international remuneration package. This action helped to create the philosophy of "this is my firm" rather than "I work for someone else." I'm not entirely sure if any other international businesses that entered the CEE market were able to do this on such a scale. In 2008, immediately following the Lehman's crash, I chaired an emergency meeting of all our global leaders, which clearly identified the opportunities that would emerge from what had become a banking catastrophe. We decided that our clients would be thrown into a much more competitive market, and that we should develop our capabilities to help them to compete and win, using their built assets in a way which would bring them competitive advantage. We believed that clients would find this a compelling basis upon which to engage with us, as indeed has subsequently proven to be the case. It was our inclusive structure which enabled EC Harris to so speedily to bring our concept of built asset consultancy to the CEE countries. I'm sure that this particular philosophy was one of the key reasons why Arcadis NV targeted EC Harris as a merger candidate. Built asset consultancy is the market space to be in right now, and most people in the know realise that to get there probably takes 3 years to actually achieve. Last year, my firm EC Harris was 100 years old, and we had been operating successfully in Central and Eastern Europe for 20 of those 100 years. It was a wonderful moment when nearly 100% of my partners voted to join forces with Arcadis. We're talking about 185 people, by the way. Arcadis is a truly global consulting business employing over 22,000 people, as was said earlier, with an annual turnover of some 2.3 billion euros. So now, following the merger, I've moved up into the Arcadis corporate structure. I'm no longer chairman of EC Harris. This means, I'm afraid to say, that I have a boss again, which is something I haven't had since I was 27 years old. I'm finding this very interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, there is somebody whom I particularly want to mention tonight, and that is my partner, Marcin Klammer, who's sitting over there, I think, somewhere. Martin is a good bloke. Despite him suffering from the impediment of being qualified as an architect, I gave Marcin the responsibility of leading and building our Polish business some years ago. I well remember telling him, when we still operated out of not much more than an apartment here, to take advantage of the opportunities, be entrepreneurial, be straight, and grow our business to become number 1 in Poland. Well, he must have been inspired by this, as he not only led us to this position, but following our merger with Arcadis, he's been offered the position of Chief Executive Officer of the combined business of Arcadis Poland and EC Harris Poland. He now finds himself leading some 400 people here in Poland, and he's still a young man, and he's still a bloody architect. Richard, judges of CEEQA, I should like to thank you enormously for deciding to give me this award. I'm totally flattered, and I much appreciate the gesture that you and all in this room have made. Thank you. I've got very cold hands.
We're deeply honored to have you here with us tonight. Congratulations on all of us. And,
Oliver goes there.